let's proceed to the next topic, which is the four pillars of learning. So, the UNESCO's four pillars of learning are a framework for defining and promoting quality education in the 21st century. So, the four pillars of learning are the learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. So, the first pillar is the learning to know. This pillar emphasizes the importance of acquiring knowledge and skills in a wide range of subjects, as well as the ability to learn how to learn. In the 21st century, this pillar is especially important as technology and information continue to rapidly evolve. Some examples of how this pillar applies to the 21st century includes digital literacy, STEM education, and lifelong learning. So, in digital literacy, learners need to be able to effectively navigate and critically evaluate digital media, as well as use digital tools for learning and communication. For STEM education, it is becoming increasingly important for preparing learners for careers in fields such as healthcare, engineering, and computer science. And for the lifelong learning, with the pace of change in the 21st century, learners need to be able to adapt and continue learning throughout their lives in order to stay competitive in the workforce. And then number two is the learning to do. This pillar emphasizes the importance of developing practical skills and the ability to apply knowledge in real-world settings. In the 21st century, this pillar is important as technology and automation continue to change the nature of work. Some examples of how this pillar applies to the 21st century include career and technical education, project-based learning, and entrepreneurship education. For the career and technical education, learners need to develop practical skills and knowledge that are relevant to the current job market. For the project-based learning, this approach to learning allows learners to apply their knowledge and skills to real-world projects, helping to develop their problem-solving and critical thinking abilities. And for the entrepreneurship education, with the rise of the gig economy and self-employment, learners need to develop entrepreneurial skills such as innovation, creativity, and risk-taking. Number three is the learning to be. So, what is this learning to be? This pillar emphasizes the importance of personal and social development, including the development of values and attitudes. In the 21st century, this pillar is important as individuals face complex social, economic, and environmental challenges. Some examples of how this pillar applies to the 21st century includes character education, global citizenship education, and the environmental education. So, how does this character education applies? Learner needs to develop character traits such as resilience, empathy, and ethics in order to navigate the challenges of the first century. And for the global citizenship education, learners need to develop an understanding of global issues and develop cross-cultural communication and collaboration skills. And for the environmental education, learners need to develop an understanding of environmental issues and develop the skills and attitudes needed to promote sustainability. Then, lastly is the learning to live together. So, what does this mean? This pillar emphasizes the importance of developing social and emotional skills, as well as the ability to live and work with others in a diverse and interconnected world. In the 21st century, this pillar is important as individuals need to be able to navigate complex social and political systems. Some examples of how this pillar applies to the 21st century include social emotional learning, cultural competence, and the civic education. So, what does the social emotional learning means? This should be applied because learners need to develop social and emotional skills such as self-awareness, empathy, and conflict resolution in order to effectively interact with others. So that is why. Then, cultural competence. Learners need to develop an understanding of different cultures and develop the skills needed to interact with individuals from diverse backgrounds. And then lastly is the civic education. Learners need to develop an understanding of democratic processes and civic engagement in order to participate in their communities and advocate for social justice. So, so, do you think that the four pillars of learning is very important in the 21st century? Of course, because it provides a comprehensive framework for promoting quality education in the 21st century. And by emphasizing the importance of acquiring knowledge and skills, developing practical skills, personal and social developments, and the ability to live and work with others in a diverse world. The four pillars of learning help to ensure them to develop their skills and reach their goals.